What is up, everybody? Back again for the third time today. You are listening to the Juice Box Heroes podcast again, and I'm one of your hosts,
Round
PK.
3.
And we had a Dubon Fan Club president who has made his way back from the Dyken Park opening day game. He's a little bit more famous now. He was on TV for the pregame. I don't know if y'all saw that. He was a H-Town Wheelhouse, but as always, we also have Mr. Sweet B Bones. Me and him held it down while Chris was enjoying the Astros win today live and in person. So tell me about FanFest, Chris. I know we covered it earlier today, the game, and we'll get right into this thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, so again, big shout out to you guys for carrying the torch while I was in the trenches, trying to expand the podcast, and I got to meet a lot of people. Street Fest was pretty cool. FanFest was cool. Kind of had to go in and out due to the weather, but like I said, met a lot of really cool people. Hopefully, they'll hop on and check us out, and hopefully see what we're about. There is one guy, one person I want to give a shout out to. His name is Steven. With us being a smaller podcast, trying to grow up, to be big boy podcast. I'd like to try to, bring up as many smaller businesses with us as we can. So he has his own food truck. It's called Charlie's, right? So if you're in Montgomery this weekend, he's doing the Montgomery Music and Mud Bugs event this Saturday. Check him out. Help out our local guys, as they move up to, bigger and better things. But back to the game. Dude, it was awesome. I mean, we stood at the home run pump the entire game, brought back memories of the 2017 Divisional Series Game 1 because it was packed. It got packed quick. We did get to see some BP, but like I said, man, it was definitely a different experience going out there, trying to step out of my shell and talk to a lot of people. But like I said, had a crap ton of really good conversations, and we got to see a win, even though the bullpen tried to make it dicey at the end. So that's enough about my time. Guys, how was you guys' opening day?
It was fantastic, man. It's we got to see a lot of baseball. PK and I were going back and forth almost all day, but I will say I went to Hops Sports Bar and Grill here in League City, Texas. And
what the hell?
My back?
All right, my bad. Go ahead. Do round 2. Take 2.
No, it's fine. Anyway.
F your story.
So anyway, it started off a little slow, but I got there a little early, and me and PK were on. And then it got super busy to the point where I was shocked that the background noise didn't make it in there. I mean, that place was absolutely at capacity. It's the one thing I thought about. It was like everybody in H-Town was literally excited about this game. So I'm super excited we had this opening day. I'm super excited about baseball, and PK, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, no, it was started out really shitty because of the weather. We didn't get to play golf, so then it becomes a sitting around waiting for the game or waiting for the first time we're going live. But I went and had some crawfish today for lunch, told Bryles about it, where to go. Chris, I think I told you about that spot down there. It used to be Marinas. Now it's, good vibes. But anyways, it was actually it was a great day, man. It ended up turning out a lot better than I thought, just because, look, man, I like to play golf, and I was pretty butthurt this morning about not playing. So, but yeah, Bryles, man.
Me too, buddy.
Bryles, that headset you had today was, I'm telling you, if you hadn't said it was filled to capacity, I would have never known. You couldn't hear anything, background noise. So good job on you for that. That was a cool location, cool backdrop. We need to go check it out. But yeah, we'll get straight into the game. Me and Bryles talked about it when we were, live watching the game for a few innings. We talked about Fromber and his curve control and what was happening in the first couple innings with him getting the traffic on the bases. And the only way he was going to have a good outing is if he got his curveball under control, because those batters aren't swinging at it, then they're just going to sit there and take them, take walks. And he's going to throw into the zone. And then, you saw the traffic he was getting in those first couple of innings. So I was really kind of hoping that a certain player on their team that's left-handed took one to the dome today. I would have liked for him, or took one anywhere, really. And especially there was one pitch, I want to say it was probably in the second inning. It was down and away, and Fromber wanted the call. It was a ball, and then he stood there and stared at Fromber and shook his head, kind of like, no, it's not a ball, right? But it's like, I just can't stand that dude. I can't stand that guy, like, whatsoever. So the fact that the game ended the way it did, I loved it. But let's start from there. First, second inning. What was your first thoughts with, seeing Fromber kind of struggle with some control at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, that was the one of the first things that I kind of noticed. I was just like, man, the guy I was sitting next to, or standing next to, he was like, man, Fromber's throwing a lot of pitches. And I look up in the second inning and he's already at 41. But it definitely looked like, from where I stood, and of course, probably everybody who watched the game, that clearly he struggled with his command today. But like, I will say this, it was one of those things where I'm like, oh man, Fromber just doesn't have it today. What the heck? And then I look up at the line score and it's like, holy shoot, he's got 6 shutout innings with like 2 hits. I was like, okay, I'll shut up now. So it was like one of those very quiet, like typical Fromber 6 innings, no runs, 3 hits. It's just that it seems like we're used to when he puts up that line, that it's usually comes with 9 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 17 ground outs. But like I said, it was one of those undercover sneakies, 6 shutout innings, 3 hits. And, looking at the way he struggled in the first few innings with his command, you didn't think that he was going to make it to the 6th inning. Especially now with a lot of these MLB teams being very careful with their pitchers, the first round through the rotation. But it was good to see he settled down when he got into trouble. He made the pitches he needed to make. He located his pitches better. And to put a smile on your face, the entire stadium, every time that certain left-hander came up to hit, booed the crap out of him. Like, it almost reminded me every time Beltran used to come up to hit. They booed him ridiculously.
Well, that's awesome. And I will say that, PK and I were talking about how, it felt like he didn't have his command the entire game, but he kept working out of it, which was fantastic. I was so worried that he was going to get in his head and then he was going to lose that curveball, just like PK was saying. It's like that curveball's off here, there, like everywhere. But he kept trying to figure out how to get outs, and he actually got it. So, I mean, Fromber was able to go, like you said, like deeper than I ever thought he was going to go.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I got to give props to Espada for leaving him out there. It's, I most of the time I'm saying like, hey, the manager didn't pull the guy like in time. Like he should have pulled him an inning before. He should have pulled him 2 outs before, whatever that case may be. But in this scenario, it's like literally he left him out there at the perfect time. So, I mean, Fromber like struggled, worked through it, came back, and actually did Fromber things, which is awesome to see. I hope we see this version of Fromber going all the way forward, except that he's more dominant in the first 2 innings as opposed to, trying to struggle and then come back through.
Yeah, look, I didn't think he'd make it past 5.
Yeah, real quick, I apologize. He didn't go 6. He went 7 innings.
Yeah, he went 7.
So, sorry, yeah. PK, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he'd make it past 5 innings based on his pitch count early on in the game. But then again, you look up and you're like, damn, this dude did another quality start, like another freaking quality start. Like
plus
it was the same old. So look, it's a great way for, I mean, not just the Astros, obviously, but for Fromber, because we know the history with the mental coach, and last year we talked about Rogue Fromber, and he just kind of does his thing. So it's really good for him to start the season off the way he did. A little bit of adversity, battle through it, and then shut these guys down. I mean, that's a pretty damn good lineup. I mean, they've got some hitters on that squad. So it's not
they've got some
It's not a punk team. So, no, I'm happy with the way he, pushed through and fought. And look, man, Altuve, we joked about it when we watched the, we're watching the stream, or doing the stream earlier. And that his first catch out and left, where he just ran and just cut off Jake Myers, was like only like how that's the only thing that's so Altuve, right? Because it's the same shit he did when he played second, would run and cut off Correa or Pena, right? I mean, that's just what he does. So look, and you could hear in the telecast like all the cheers for every catch that he made today. So it was really good that to see him out there. But yeah, no, that first catch with him cutting off Myers, like we kind of laughed when we were watching it, because it was just like, Jose, what are we doing here, man? Like, center field's got the ball. That's his ball.
Right.
What was his what was like, how did it look from y'all's angle up there at the home run pump?
I can tell you this, man. When he cut off Jake Myers, there was myself and there was a family that I met. I was talking to the dad. We just both looked at each other. He felt my chest and he was like, "Is your heart beating that fast too?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." He scared the crap out of me doing that. And he did it multiple times. Like, there's multiple times. There was another play later on in the game where there's a pop fly and you clearly see Pena waving him off, and he's like, "Cool story.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch this." But I think, I'm sure, and I could be wrong, I'm sure he's hearing the buzz, the noise of, like, all the stuff that was shown during spring training of him, dropping those few balls. I mean, so I think it was more of him trying to say, "Listen, this ball's somewhat to me. I'm going to get this catch and get that off my schneid," and maybe it allowed him to relax a little bit as far as playing, the outfield. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of, "Oh God, Jose, don't do that again."
Yeah. Ross, you had anything?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, two hands, please God, two hands. And that was that was about all we had to say.
Yeah, no, so I'm just glad. Look, I'm glad that he got a couple of, he had 2 putouts in 2 innings, I think 3 overall for the day. So look, I'm glad that he got a few balls hit to him. Like you said, Chris, he gets that, like, he's now past that first ball that's hit to him. It's over. Now it just becomes his athleticism taking over, and playing ball.
Yeah.
What I really liked about, we can kind of transition to the new guys, right? Walker, Paredes, Cam Smith. But what I really liked about watching Paredes and Walker play today, or really at bat, when they're in the plate or in the box, was how many pitches those 2 guys see in an at bat. And I'm sitting here, I think on one of Paredes at bat, he took like 2 strikes on the inside corner. And then he ends up working a walk. I mean, and laid off some dirty breaking pitches, right? I didn't know, but during the telecast, I think Blummer said that Paredes led the league in most pitches seen per at bat last season, which, and Dana Brown was, on the telecast also, and he was talking about how during spring training the emphasis was, hey, we're going to see more pitches. We're going to make the pitcher work. I think Clay Holmes had like 75, 76 pitches through 5 innings, I think. So our guys saw a lot of, pitches, and freaking Walker, I think 3 out of his 4, I say hits, but it didn't technically count, but contact with the ball were plus 110 or plus 100. He had the first 2 were like 111 each exit velo. His third one was 102. Then he had a driller to third base, later on in the game. But, and then of course you have Cam Smith. I mean, how freaking cool, to get up there, first pitch, first at bat, single to the right side. And me and Bryles during his at bat, we kind of, what's he going to do? Luckily, I called it. I should have put some money on.
Yeah, PK called that like straight up. He goes, "Hey, by the way, he's going to hit a oppo to right," and I'm like, "What? Okay." Boom.
Yeah, dude, look, he's oppo.
Like 2
he's oppo
seconds
king.
later.
So, it's just really cool to see those three guys, work in the box. And what were your thoughts on it? Like, how was the buzz? I know that we talked about it pregame. The Paredes, Walker, and Smith.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you guys actually heard. Excuse me, since the reception inside Minute Maid or I'm sorry, Daikin.
Oh,
It was terrible. It was terrible. So I don't know how much I cut out, how much of y'all actually heard. The buzz was
we had
real.
like 40,000 people trying to stream 5G at the same time. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I mean, the Cam Smith buzz was absolutely real, and you would have thought he hit a walk-off home run in like the ALCS with the amount of with the ovation he got with his first hit. I was wrong. I predicted he was going to go his first at bat. He was going to strike out. Then he was going to fly out, and then he was going to hit a home run in the sixth. So PK, you win. Congratulations.
yes.
But yeah, it was, as far as taking pitches, I think that was one of the main reasons why Isaac Paredes was brought over here in that trade, because it seemed like last year they really got away from being the patience that they showed in prior years. It's like they wanted to attack. And again, this is the major leagues. I mean, like, if you're going to continue to show you're going to attack on the first pitch, then you're going to get something out of the strike zone that you could pop up to the catcher or pop up on the infield. So it was good to see, and I saw that from Paredes and Walker, in this few spring training games I saw. It would be like they would both have 13 pitches sawn between them, and then you'd have Chas McCormick and Dubon with like a grand total of 2. So
hey, -1.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll tell you this. I mean, like the game went really well. It was pretty fast. Like I looked up at the third. It was the third inning. I looked up again. It was like the bottom of the eighth. I was like, holy crap, this game is flying by. But I have to get into, as far as like, man, the bullpen did not look good. I will say this. I know there were some close calls with Abreu, but at the end of his inning, he threw more balls than he had strikes. Now, again, there's probably a +4, -4 swing with the, I thought there was some, ticky-tacky, that zone kind of shrunk with that umpire. I mean, but and then you move over to Hader, and it seemed like their message scouting report on Hader was dead nuts on, because they were all over his stuff. Like, he was not, and it looked like, is it me or did it look like his stuff didn't have that same zip? I mean, because I'm pretty sure we're used to seeing 98, maybe 99 Hader, and we were seeing 96. And maybe it's because it's opening day, his arm may not be all the way stretched out, but I felt like he wasn't throwing the gas that we're used to seeing him throw. Maybe that's just me.
No, it's not just you. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw him, is he just didn't have that pop. He didn't have that normal, just like strikeout, like, that he normally has. It just, he didn't seem like he was quite there yet. Like, he needed another, I don't know, 3-4 days of spring training. But at the same time, I mean, it worked in the end, but good God, did it give us a heart attack almost, where he was going to give up. I mean, we saw everything that happened, and then the bullpen comes in, and then Hader's like, is he going to give this up? Really? Like, do we have bases loaded? How many runs is he going to give up? It's like, he finally made it happen, which thank God he did. But yeah, I think that he's not quite ready. Listen, I'm not like saying that we need to like lose faith in him by any means, but what I am saying is he definitely needs a couple of games to get like tuned up. That way he can get in there and get that pop in that zip, like you were talking about, Chris.
Yeah, I think the strike zone was kind of tight. I mean, because there were a few times during Frommer's outing where, I don't know if you were probably paying attention during this time, but and it was middle innings. Frommer throws a pitch. Obviously, he wants the call. He doesn't get the call. He kind of does, a motion towards the umpire. Then Diaz is kind of holding the ball. Like, Frommer walks back to where the sprinkler valve would be behind the mound, and he's facing center field. And that's when the umpire came out and threw his mask off, tells Yanni to throw the ball back to him. So the strike zone was a little bit it was a little bit tight, but when you get down to the 8th inning and you've got Abreu in there, and I felt you're right. I think it did shrink a little bit more. But you're talking about game 1. I need my blood pressure medicine already, right?
Right.
And it's just like, okay, let's not overreact on game 1. So let's not make this be a trend. But I sure as hell didn't want to drop that game, after leading the whole game, after we didn't want to waste an outing that we had from Fromber. So something to keep an eye on. And Chris, now that you're back, we were talking about, me and Browse were earlier, who's our long relief guy? Is it Taylor Scott?
No, I believe that role is going to go to Ryan Gusto. I think that's why he made the team.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, because as you remember, he was the guy that was supposed to pitch that last game against
of the season. That's correct.
The Guardians.
That's correct.
And then they got rained out. So
yes,
definitely, I want to say that the long reliever right now is going to go to Ryan Gusto, and I would say it's his to lose. I mean, but I don't know if you guys have been keeping up. Lance McCullers Jr. will pitch for the Space Cowboys on Sunday. So it looks like the whole thing that we talked about last week about him starting the season in AAA looks like that's probably what's going to happen.
Well, I think it needs to happen. I think he needs more time to throw. Make sure that thing is nice and stretched out. Like you're right there at the end of his injury hiatus, right? You're right there at the end. Like there's no reason to speed this thing up just because. I mean, make sure this guy is 100% ready as far as how his body feels, how his arm feels, how the organization feels. I mean, look what we've gone without him for 2 years. So it's going to be exciting to see the guy face some live, being a real game situation. Really happy for him that he's even back to this part, because I think I'm sure he had doubts and thoughts of, not being able to pitch again. I can only imagine he had, you know what I mean? So definitely happy for him. Hope everything goes well on Sunday. You're going to be out there tomorrow.
Yeah, Chris. I'll be out there tomorrow. Regardless of the weather, I will be out there for Space Cowboys opening day.
You need to buy that new cowboy hat they have.
We'll see. I mean, I did technically, the last episode you said that it was up to me to make sure I had the hat on by the next episode. Yep. I wasn't going to buy it, but the wife bought it for me for my birthday. So I was able to complete the prophecy by having it. So
it looks good, man.
Only fitting. Yeah, it looks a lot nicer now that I have it. The white doesn't bother me as much, but I guess it's only fair for me to also complete the minor league prophecy and go get the rodeo clown hat.
Well, here's the thing.
We'll see how it goes.
I know that once you show up to that stadium and you go into the team store, you're gonna buy it anyway.
Oh, the credit card's coming out. Like
that's coming right out.
It's coming right out. We'll see. I gotta get me some more Space Cowboys merch as far as like clothes and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Cool, man.
But all right, guys. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, I was going to say, so we're getting close to the 25-minute mark. I want to know who you guys are giving the game ball to. The official 2025 Juicebox Hero opening day game ball. Browse, who you're giving the game ball to?
That's easy for me. It's Fromber. Fromber struggled at the beginning. He had a lot of stuff to work through, which, and PK and I talked about this in the podcast or the live broadcast, excuse me. But anyway, he struggled. He threw things. His curveball just wasn't working, like PK said. And it's like when he gets that way, sometimes that can go way south. But he got out of his head. He took a step back. He figured it out, and he went 7. I mean, how many times are you going to see a Major League Baseball pitcher this season go 7 innings? And it's not going to happen very often. So my game ball straight up goes to Fromber. Thank you very much, and good night.
All right, PK. Yeah. Who's getting your game ball?
Well, I mean, I had an answer until I saw the comment. Kind of like his.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it's right. I mean, he's right. He's right though. But no, I think you give it to Fromber. I mean, that's how that's what you expect from your ace to come out and set the tone. Obviously, he didn't it in the first Phoenix, but then overall, he set the tone for this is the type of Fromber that I'm sure he wants to be all season, what the team needs him to be all season, and what we expect him to be as the ace. And look, man, if you want to get paid, that's the type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that you need to be doing consistently, right? He's in a contract year, is he not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that's the type of player and performance we need from that guy. If you want to get the stupid money, so Fromber gets it, but one A hater for sure. Just to quote our friend Steve Velasquez, I can give it to Steve, and he can hum it at him. That's correct.
All right, I'm going to go a little bit different because I figured Fromber's the easy one to give it to. I'm going to go with somebody who actually had a really good game that I think none of us kind of expected him to have a good game as far as offensively, and that's going to be Jake the Rake Myers.
I was going to say
2 for 4.
He did have a good game. You were going to go.
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, granted, it's one game, but I don't know what it is about opening day and Jake Myers. I mean, but didn't he have he hit a home run last year? This year he goes 2 for 4 with a ribby. So I'm going to give my game ball to Jake the Rake Myers for 2025 opening day.
And it's funny that you said that he hit a bomb last year because when we were on earlier, I said, watch this guy be the guy that hits the home run for the first home run of the season. Jake.
Right.
I mean, he didn't, but I'm saying this
PK called that though.
Yeah.
No, look, look, we know kind of Jake. We get streaky hitter Jake. I'll take it for you take it when you get it, and then you bitch about it when you don't. So I am happy for him. That was a good non auto game ball person. So, but we're about to get out of here. Tomorrow's game is on Apple TV, in case anybody was wondering. So get your free subscription.
Oh, is it?
Your email. It sure is.
Oh.
Apple TV tomorrow.
This is why we can't have anything nice.
Apple TV tomorrow night. FS1 on Saturday, and then back to Space City for Sunday. Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. Yes,
for us, 7? Not for the
Astros. 7:30.
We're off on Sunday.
So Sunday at 7:30, we'll be back, starting 2 episodes a week. Sunday for the weekend recap, and then Thursday our normal show. So please join us for the weekend recap on Sunday. And until then, my guys, y'all have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. I'm PK. That's the Dude Bomb Fan Club president, and that's Mr. Bryles. And we are the Juice Box of Heroes podcast.
Hook 'em.
All right, you guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you guys Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank God baseball's back, man. Holy moly.
And can you believe Cam Smith got a hit on his first at-bat?
I know. First pitch, first at bat.